This is David, you're watching Btekt, and this video is sponsored by Direct Mobiles. You can check them out at directmobiles.co.uk. We're still quite a few months away from the launch of the 2020 iPhone, which we assume at this point will be called the iPhone 12. It's due to launch sometime in September, but despite this we still have some details, some of which are thought to be pretty credible, others not so much, about what the new iPhone 12 will at least look like. There was recently a video that showed off some 3D prints of the 2020 iPhone range, which was allegedly made using factory CAD data. So from this we've made our own 3D models to give you a bit of a cheeky hands-on so we can see just what these new devices could be like. That video showed off 3 different sized iPhone models which seem to be the premium iPhones. Not entirely sure how credible this rumour is because it seems like every year we hear new rumours about there being a compact iPhone released. I feel there would be a huge market for this smaller premium iPhone. This one's rumoured to have a 5.3-inch screen, but still be in the league of last year's Pro models. If that's correct, I think it will sell like hotcakes. But these 3 models do depict a device with a notch, but there are rumours out there that the iPhone 12 will come with a full screen display and have its true depth 3D cameras, which are needed for its Face ID system, hidden away in the bezels. This would be so many people's dream phone if they could do that. At this point it's unknown which way Apple will go with this, but they must realise that if they can produce an iPhone device that does not have a notch but still has its brilliant Face ID system, well, they will just clean up. But for now, my models are based on it having a notch, although a slightly smaller notch than before. It was a bit surprising that the iPhone 11 had the exact same notch and bezel design as the iPhone 10 and the iPhone XS. I would say that they have to at least try to make it smaller or slightly redesign it somehow because this design is getting old. One detail that the leaks seem to agree on is that the new iPhone will have flat chamfered sides, finally moving away from the rounded edges that we've seen in the past 3 generations. It's definitely time for a redesign, although I do think that we might have a very similar camera system in looks anyway to what we have at the moment. It's unknown right now what the specification for the cameras will be. The iPhone 11 camera is still for me one of the best on the market. But with so much of the competition moving to higher resolution sensors, most notably Samsung's Galaxy S20 Ultra with its 108 megapixel main sensor, will Apple decide that they need more than just 12 megapixels? Typically Apple tend to do their own thing and don't generally react to what others are doing. There's no denying that they already have a very strong camera setup using just 12 megapixels and arguably still have the upper hand when it comes to video. I'll definitely be interested to see which way they go from here, but I won't be surprised if they take the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" approach. We have a strong rumour at the moment that we will finally see a 5G handset from Apple this year. Some people were surprised that the iPhone 11 did not have a 5G variant, although personally I think that was actually a smart move from Apple to hold back on the 5G. For the moment at least, because at the time the iPhone 11 was released, 5G wasn't really saying much, and it had pretty sketchy coverage across the UK at least. Admittedly, since then coverage has improved a lot, so much so that by the time this phone is actually released, a 5G version is definitely going to be required. It's rumoured that it will run on Qualcomm's X55 5G modem, although there are also rumours that Apple are working on their own 5G modem which could possibly see the first light of day in the new iPad Pro. But I think that the headline specs for this device, again, will be its chipset. There were very few tech journalists that were not seriously impressed when we first heard the specs for the A13 Bionic with the release of the iPhone 11. But this year with the iPhone 12, we expect it to be the very first phone to be running on a chipset based on a 5nm manufacturing process. Let's just call it the A14 Bionic for now. But this chip is set to give Apple a huge advantage over the Android competition. Apple's processing chips are built specifically for that device and are actually physically bigger than the Android Snapdragon chips, which incidentally are designed to work on a variety of different devices, not just smartphones. The physical size difference alone gives the Apple chip an inherent advantage, not to mention the fact that the chip was specifically designed for that device. So if the A14 Bionic is built on a 5nm process, then it will be head and shoulders above everyone else when it comes to processing power as well as power efficiency. Speaking of which, there's rumoured to be a 4100 mAh battery inside the iPhone 12. Hopefully we should see an improvement in screen time over 11, although battery life on the iPhone 11 series is very good. It's definitely not class leading, but maybe the combination of the new chipset and a larger battery might change that. In reality at the moment, the final design of the iPhone 12 isn't really set in stone. And as it stands at the moment, this is our best guess as to what we think the new handset will be like. But something that has been confirmed is the final design for the iPhone 9, an entry-level model designed more for developing markets. This one will be a device with a dual rear camera system and pretty heavy bezels all around the screen. It even has a physical button at the bottom. No doubt this device is more about the user experience. This iPhone is said to basically be the same as an iPhone 8, but with slightly better specs. We expect a dual 12 megapixel rear camera system and a 7 megapixel selfie camera. It should be a very small device with a 5.2 inch display and come with 64 gigs of internal memory and 4 gigabytes of RAM. There should also be a 2100 mAh battery which supports fast charging. This all sounds fairly disappointing at the moment, although if they can put last year's A13 Bionic chip in there, this will be a solid device. I didn't bother make my own model for this one. To be honest, I got kind of bored making iPhones. I've done 3 already. But if they put the right chip in there and price it correctly, this will be a big hit for them. There's no denying that Apple definitely have their work cut out this year with the introduction of things like the Galaxy S20 series and even the Galaxy Z Flip. It can only be a matter of time until Apple get involved with the folding phone revolution, and it'll be really interesting to see which device they come up with. The first thing that springs to mind is the possibility of a foldable iPad, although I would think that heavy investment is required if they want to get in with the folding tech. It seems like the most expensive thing to develop is the hinge, and then of course there's the covering for the screen. We all know that Samsung had issues with the Galaxy Fold, which seem to have all been solved now, and especially with the introduction of the Galaxy Z Flip, which uses a special ultra-thin bendable glass to cover its pliable display. The hinges on both the Galaxy Fold and the Galaxy Z Flip are extremely complicated. So although I don't expect a foldable device from Apple anytime soon, you would think that eventually they would have to get in on it, especially if the Galaxy Z Flip turns out to be a success, which I think it will. It's a great device. My personal wish list or thoughts about how Apple should proceed is they should definitely go for an all-screen display. I think that would really give them the killer blow if they had an iPhone with 3D Face Unlock that was all screen. That is the main downside about the iPhone, always having to look at that hideous notch, although for me it is always forgiven as the Face ID system is just fantastic now. Like I said before, get rid of that notch and you have what is many people's idea of the perfect phone. But realistically, I really hope that they update the look of the device, and I'm talking about the front panel. So if it has to have a bezel, please redesign it this time, Apple, and if you can give it smaller side bezels, that would be great too. That, maybe a few more megapixels in the camera system, and 5G, I think is what we can realistically expect. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'd love to know what you think of it, and I'd love to know what you want to see in the new iPhone 12 series. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and drop your wish list down below. Of course, we still have a while to wait until we see this one, but in the meantime, the iPhone 11 is still one of the best phones on the market. And the best place to find a great deal on that phone, and any other phone for that matter, is the Direct Mobile's website. It's a great place to look for your new phone, as you can compare all of the available deals with all of the networks, all there on the one website, and they have over 24 years of award-winning customer service, so you really are in good hands. There's a link down in the video description below, or you can search directmobiles.co.uk. And also, for all the best iPhone accessories, iPads, Apple Watches, AirPods, and more, go and check out the Btekt Amazon shop. Only the best tech and accessories, everything is recommended by us, well worth checking out. And that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll have more on the 2020 iPhones as soon as it comes in, so make sure you're subbed to Btekt and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Also, you can follow me on social media. And finally, I will leave you with some more visuals of the iPhone 12 series. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. I'm David, this is Btekt.